But anyways, here we go. You're watching Let's Get Loud Now with Dorothy Guerra, and we are here to amplify your life. Today, I have a fantastic guest that's going to be joining me. Her name is Veronica Runyon. Now, Veronica Runyon runs an Ultimate Money program, and I came across her watching her videos on Facebook, and she is a friend of mine. Fabulous stuff. She works with the energy of money. And why is this so important? Is because so many of us are constantly looking for a way to make more money, have more money, but we're constantly coming from a place of lack. What I love about Veronica is she's going to teach you how to deal with the law of attraction, the universe, and finding money in your life without coming from lack. Now, I see she's in there trying to join me on Facebook Live, so just give me one more second to make this happen. There we go. Yes, please tell me this is going to get you there. Hold on, she's coming.
Hi!
Oh my God, it finally worked. I can't believe this. What a joke this was.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. I did not give up, though. I don't give
I
up.
love the perseverance. It's amazing.
Well, anyways, everybody, you're watching Let's Get Loud. And like I said, I've got Veronica Runyon on the show today. Veronica's fabulous. So what she's going to teach you is how to release negative blocks. Now, what we want to do is create a really great interview that will take some time. So I want to kind of throw this out to you this morning on a live Facebook feed, just so that you have an opportunity to meet Veronica, maybe take a look at her Facebook page, maybe even join her Ultimate Money program before we bring you our real big interview that we're going to do together. So without further ado, I told everybody about the work that you do and the law of attraction, the energy of money. Why don't I throw it your way and let people get to know who you are?
Sure. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dorothy. And hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. So, 20 years ago, when I was in my early 20s, I started to really become aware of this idea that I maybe can create the life that I desire, right? And so a lot of us have had this inclination over the years, and this was before the law of attraction was really being talked about. It was before The Secret was out. But I started to read a lot of books and do a lot of research about, okay, well, if I can create my life, what do I need to do? And I started to play in different tools and processes and found that things were working for me. I was able to create the life that I wanted in terms of my relationship and things in my career and my physical body and experiences that I wanted to have with travel, etc. And so it was great, and I was getting more proficient at it. But I found myself in my late 20s and I was broke. I was like, I was living in overdraft. I was maxed out in debt, and I was like, well, wait a second. For some reason, because I am more spiritually inclined, I had thought that I wanted to be in love and I wanted to be doing philanthropic endeavors, but that meant I needed to say no to money, right? Like that money was superficial, or I had these beliefs that made me think that I shouldn't be in pursuit of money. And then, when I was broke, I was like, I don't really like this. Why don't I maybe look at money? Like, why can't I have money too, in addition to all these things? So all of these tools that I'd been playing with, I said, I'm going to start playing with them in the area of money. And it didn't really come to me. So I was determined, just like you were today, Dorothy, and I said, I'm going to figure this out. And so I just started doing tons of research. I read books, I followed masters, I joined programs, and I gathered as much as I could about money and the energy of money and how it functions in the universe with relation to us, and started playing and practicing with tools. And I found that over time, I pulled together kind of like a toolkit for myself of things that worked for me. And I ended up in a financial situation that I was really happy with and that I was really comfortable with. And a couple of months ago, or 6 months ago, I delivered a baby girl. And so a lot of my income streams dried up, and I found myself in a situation again where I was like, okay, Veronica, you need to start playing with these tools again to transform your financial situation again. And I wanted to bring people in with me to play with me. And so I've started this whole conversation. I've got lots of free stuff on Facebook, and I've got, some groups that you can join in the conversation if you're interested in playing and bringing in more money in your life.
All right, so let's talk about how this works. Okay, let's just give everybody a brief understanding of this. The law of attraction, very powerful stuff. Now, if you're not a big, deep follower of the law of attraction, then the common understanding of it is all we have to do is sit back, think, believe, and receive. But what people don't understand is when you start tapping into the energies of the universe, it's a lot deeper than that, because we've got stored emotions. Once we start coming from a place of negativity and of lack, emotional distress, and it starts to become the essence of who we are, then when we start to ask the universe for things, we're coming from that place where we're asking from a place of lack, we're asking from a place of distress. How in your program do you teach people that in order to generate the aspects of abundance and money, they've got to get rid of those emotional blocks?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I really like to I look at it this way. You know, everything in the universe is energy. So I talk a lot about energy. Everything is energetic. Science tells us when we break down to the basic components or basic molecules of anything, if it's rock, if it's water, if it's our bodies, it's all energy in motion. And so I really like to put it into the context of energy, right? Our thoughts are energetic and they're interacting with everything in the planet, in the universe. Our emotions, our feelings, our beliefs are all energy. And so what happens is that through the whole conversation around a law of attraction, which has been fantastic, what we've been focusing a lot on is controlling our thoughts. But our thoughts are only one component, right? So our thoughts are signaling out this energy that then brings things to us. But when we have these underlying beliefs or emotions or feelings that are not in alignment, that are actually in opposite of what the thought is, then our energy that's going out is completely distorted. So what we bring back into our life is not what we think that we're creating.
Right. Now, what about people who are in debt? How, when they're tapped out, they're working full time, they've got, they don't see another avenue for making money. How do you tackle those people that are coming from a place of debt and then turning around and telling them, well, I can release this energy from you and we can work with that debt and you will be rich? How do we get that
Yeah.
mentality?
It's all about, it's interesting because I could talk for 5 hours about debt because it's a huge one. And I have done seminars on debt and it is a really big one. But really, really quickly, what we want to do is we want to get to the underlying belief or judgment that we have about debt. Because for most of us, when it comes to debt, we're judging it as really wrong, as we're feeling shameful about it. So there's all these stories that we have, when I talk about the emotions and feelings and beliefs underneath, there's all these stories that we have that's then just perpetuating the debt. So what we need to do is we need to reframe it. So I have ways to do that. I have tools and processes and ways to reframe our thoughts and beliefs so that we can actually transform our belief system, the way we're functioning with respect to debt, and actually start generating more income to just let it go.
Now, there's another big question. How about people that have jobs, have like entrepreneurs that have so many doors that can open for them as far as opportunities and as far as an abundance of money coming in, and they have fear of making that money? There's a big thing in the universe where people who can have something, sort of step away from it. They want it, but they step away from it because they're afraid of how their life will change when they have it.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, there's so many people that do that and we're so scared of it, So again, it's all about looking at, so I really believe at the heart that anything that we desire is we're desiring it because it's possible for us, right? So I think about each and every one of you having a potential, right? In every aspect of your life, with respect to your business, with respect to your money, with respect to your career, there's this highest potential that you can achieve. Every desire that you have, whether it's for a pair of shoes or whether it's building an empire, you're desiring it because it's possible for you. And so we think about desires as being these random longings that are kind of annoying because we want them, but they're out there and we don't know how to get them. Let's reframe that. What if the fact that you desire anything is because the universe or God or spirit or your soul, whatever you believe, is actually nudging you, tapping you on the shoulder saying, this is possible for you. And what if once we lean into it and learn how to lean into it in a way that we can actually start to follow it, we actually not only these desires come to us, but we begin to live the greatest expression of ourselves in this life.
That is so true. Now, I got a question here from you from Kiana. She's asking you how you feel about making money from MLM products.
You know what?
Multi-level marketing perspective. Do you coach people through multi-level marketing?
Yeah, absolutely everybody. You know what? I believe, so this is the thing. If that is truly a desire for you to bring money in that way, like if it feels good to you, if it excites you, that's an indication that that is an avenue for you. if it is something like, it wouldn't be for me, for example, because it's not something that excites me. There's other things that excite me. But if it excites you, then 100% that is an avenue through which you can bring in money. And so if there's any blocks there, or if it's not coming to you, then we just need to look at what are the beliefs that are limiting you. And we need to start transforming those so that you could open up doors, because the doors can open up big for you.
That's true, because there's so much negative energy around MLM for most people because it's got such a negative
Absolutely.
stigma. And it's just a matter of working through those blocks and finding a way that if it works for you and if you connect to it in your soul when you're selling it, it shouldn't come from a bad place when you're putting it out in
Exactly.
the world.
And there's so many
Right.
people it works for. So like, absolutely, it's absolutely a wonderful avenue if it's in alignment with what you desire.
So I want to talk to you as well, just a few more minutes here. When we look at blockages, how do we get people to understand, like, the whole law of attraction and the secret and abundance? For a lot of people, this stuff is so esoteric. So when you got people coming into your program that don't really understand, the vibration of the universe and the way we put things out there come back to us, if they're not buying into this whole money is energy, how do you sell them to get them to see that it is?
Yeah, well, you know what? First of all, not everyone's going to resonate with this conversation, and that's okay, right? So, there's different things, there's different methods of thinking out there. I love to talk a lot about science-based research as well. So I talk a lot about the brain and how the brain functions. I talk a lot about, actually, there's tons of research and science about our heart and how our heart actually interacts with the environment out there. So there's a lot of science-based stuff that I talk about that supports this whole conversation, if that helps, because I'm very cerebral too, and I need that kind of that evidence as well. But if you're drawn to this conversation in any way, then that means that there's something here for you, right? The fact that you're even listening means that there's something here for you. So
Right.
I always say, whatever feels good to you, anything that feels like, oh, that kind of feels good to me, that's an indication. Abraham Hicks, I don't know how many of you know Abraham Hicks, but
Yep.
Abraham Hicks talks about how our emotional guidance system is like a GPS. So when things feel good to us, it's like the GPS saying, you're on the right route. When things don't feel good, it means that we're not, right? So if this conversation feels good to you in any way, that means there's something here for you, and we can explore that further.
Right. And so can you give us a little bit of a tip? So, for example, can you give us like a daily exercise that people could take away from this? And if you're watching, because I see that we've got a whole bunch of people here that have joined, if you've got a money question for Veronica while she's on with us live here, make sure that you shut it out here in your post so that she can get an opportunity to message you back or comment below. But can you give a little bit of an exercise on something that we can do daily to take ourselves out of this perspective of lack or fear of money, where we can connect with the universe and sort of put ourselves on that right vibration for the day?
The quickest thing that I could give you is this. Awareness is a huge, huge part of this conversation. So becoming aware of where you're functioning from today when it comes to money. So most of us don't want to look at money. We don't want to look at our bank accounts. We kind of want to close ourselves off because it's uncomfortable, right? So what we want to start doing is looking at money, looking at the money that we have. I love to tell people, get a stack of cash and put it beside your bed and look at it and think about it. How do you feel about it when you look at it? Start to become familiar with it again. Start to bring it into your life, because awareness for most of us is the first step. And from there, what we want to do is we want to get to a place where we can appreciate it. And there's a lot of tools that I can share with you about how to do that, because most of us don't appreciate it. Most of us are functioning from, it's never enough. It doesn't matter how much I make. It's hard to come by. It's always going out quicker than it comes in. So we need to change that, because that's then the vibration that we keep putting out there, and that's why it continues to perpetuate. So in these really quick moments, the first thing I would say is awareness. Start to look at money, look at what's in your bank account, get a stack of cash, start feeling the money that's in your wallet, and then the next step is going to be to find a way to become appreciative of what's there.
Right. Now, which is an amazing thing, just making sure that you have it in your hand also makes it real, makes you feel it, right? So it kind of changes that stigma that you have in your brain when you don't have it. And I can tell you, there's nothing like going to the grocery store and you don't have $5 in your wallet and you got to pull out your debit card in order to buy a pack of gum. It's a good feeling. You've got those extra 20s sitting in your wallet, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
Right. Now, another thing I want you to tackle quickly too is people that want to take that step into being entrepreneurs. And the biggest fear, and that's a big thing about my show, is encouraging entrepreneurs and giving them ways to find success. And money is a
Mm-hmm.
big thing in the business world when you want to start your own business. There's those startup costs that you need. So a lot of people are going to step back from following their goals or opening up that business because they don't have the money. And when you start to think, oh my God, I don't have the money, then you start to deteriorate that goal. I can't start that business. I can't do this business. Can you speak to a little bit about that? Starting something new and not having the money for it.
Yeah. So, another one of my favorite quotes from Abraham Hicks says that they say that in every moment, there are 30 to 40 avenues through which your desires can be revealed to you, through which they can come to you. But because we tend to function from our mind, so this is another really quick thing, is that something I talk a lot about is imagination, right? Einstein says imagination is more important than knowledge. We hear that, we're like, yeah, okay, great for Einstein. And then we continue to live our life based on looking at what is. Did you know that by the time we're 35, 95% of our imaginative, creative neurons in our brain have died, have atrophied from lack of use? It's because we're told to stop dreaming. We're told to face reality, get your head out of the clouds, right? So one of the things I talk a lot about is we need to start to wake up those imagination neurons again, because that's how we access the brilliance of our brain. That's how we access the brilliance of our being. That's how we can allow insight and inspiration to come to us. So when we think about this, there's 30 or 40 ways through which your business could come to it, through which connections could come to you, and we limit ourselves by thinking it has to be through money. So we limit ourselves saying, okay, there's only one way it can come to me is through money, and I've got to find the money to do that, when there's all these other 30, 40 ways that it could come to you, but we have not opened ourselves up to the possibility. So it's a muscle we need to start strengthening again.
That's right. And that's a big thing, especially when I teach my program through the L.O.U.D program, looking at your opportunities. So in my L.O.U.D program, I look at loyalty, being committed to your idea, creating the opportunities, and then unity, creating the partnerships when you find those opportunities. And sometimes in those partnerships is where that financial idea or somebody will give you the money to help you get started in your business. I've got so many things I want to ask you because you've got so many great answers. It's just so crazy. I watched one of your videos, and it was something that you said as far as, you starting your business and you making these videos, that, you don't proclaim to have all this money, that you yourself, which is and that really resonated with me, because, there's that stigma that if I go out into the world, I need to have all this stuff. And here you are speaking about money and, saying that you're not, you don't have, not that you're not poor, but you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So
I'm not
I
living
think
with millions.
What I'm trying to connect here is your confidence level. And wrapping that confidence around money, right?
Yeah.
How do you teach people to be confident with money when they just don't have it? And I think that's the big gap in the law of attraction. We don't have the confidence. We can ask for it, but when we're asking for it, please give me money, how am I going to get it? So I want you to speak to a little bit about your confidence in the business that you've created, because I think it's important to bring people into your program so that they understand you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do not claim to have millions, and maybe one day I will. Let's see. But, the biggest thing for me is being comfortable with money and feeling confident that it will come, and feeling confident that it will continue to grow. So the thing is that I liken it to working out, right? It's like if I wanted to go do a push-up today, I could maybe do one, but I need to kind of keep at it day after day to build myself up to 2 and then 10 and then 100, right? And so it's the exact same thing with this. So the program I'm doing right now, I'm connecting with people every day for short periods of time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes every day, to help strengthen the muscle of creating that energy signal that becomes magnetic to money. So years ago, when I played with all of these tools and processes, that's what I did. I committed to every single day. It only has to take seconds. It's not about locking yourself in a room and meditating for hours and hours and hours. You know, I'm talking about seconds or minutes a day of just changing your energy signal, changing your beliefs, you know, changing that vibration, practicing. And what happened is I got to a place where all of a sudden, you know, money was coming to me and I was really comfortable with it. And I, you know, it would come to me in ways I wouldn't expect. And I would just had so much ease around it. And because I experienced that, now that I'm in a position where I want to change my financial situation again, I have that confidence because I've done it before. But again, you know, I go through struggles.
That's amazing. You know, and I think I really wanted to hear you say that because I think it's important that people connect with you. So why don't you tell them a little bit about your program, how your program came about, where they can find you on Facebook. I'm telling you, everybody, you've got to watch her feeds that she does on Facebook. Now, she is doing her Ultimate Money program, which I've been really lucky to watch. And these videos are so fabulous. I can't begin to tell you how great they are. And so why don't you tell everybody how your program got started, what pushed you in that direction, and what they're going to get when they join your program.
Wonderful. Okay, so you can find me for free. I've got lots of free videos on my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/VERRUNYON. Actually, I could type it in here, actually. And then the other thing that I have is, as Dorothy mentioned, is this 45-day wealth experience. And this is what I was talking about in terms of having the daily practice of strengthening those muscles. I had a space in there, but you'll get the idea. So of strengthening the muscles of the energy signal that you're emitting. And we're 2 weeks into this program. It's a 45 day. I just typed it in there, so hopefully you can grab it.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off here because somebody's asking you to type it again here. Ruth Herrera. So you'll probably get a chance to read the comments. So there's a few people here looking for you.
Awesome. I love it. So yeah, lots of free videos on that Facebook page. And then I do have this 45-day wealth program. Like I said, we're in a few weeks in, and the transformations have been incredible in just a couple of weeks. And the biggest thing that people are experiencing is that they understand what's been blocking them, right? That's the biggest thing at this point, right? There are people who are coming into more money already, but the biggest thing for most but the biggest thing for most people is that, like, okay, I can see now how I've been blocking it. And that, like I said, that awareness is huge because that's when we can change it.
Right. Just before we get off here, I wanted to say I was watching one of your videos and I did one of your exercises, and you did this thing about giving out love. And, you know, just being grateful to everybody. And I think that's an amazing point because another really big aspect of the law of attraction is if you want something and there's something that you're desiring and, you know, your mind, body, spirit is in tune with that, then you can't come from a place of jealousy. You can't come from a place of envy. You can't come from a place where you're hating other people for having the things that you want to have. So I do want you to address that a little bit about the idea of gratitude, because gratitude is everything.
So what I talk a lot about, again, because it's all the conversations all around energy, right? There's an author called David Hawkins, right? So he's written a few books, and one of his books is Power versus Force. And in that book, he talks about the different energy calibrations of emotional or states of consciousness. And he's actually gone through this exercise to look at how powerful different emotional states are. And when we get to the levels of consciousness or the energetic emotions of love and gratitude, they are so powerful. That's why everyone talks about gratitude. Oprah talks about gratitude. Everyone talks about gratitude. The problem with gratitude is we think most of us go into it mentally, right? We go into it mentally. Right. Thank you. Yeah. I'm grateful. Because we haven't learned how to actually access the energy and the emotion of gratitude. So that's something that I'm really sharing with people in this 45-day experience is let's practice, let's learn how to strengthen that muscle. Because it is so unbelievably powerful when we can access it, and even Oprah talks about it.
Right. And that's amazing. So Like I said, I'd love to join you again. Actually, this Facebook Live thing actually worked really
It's
well
fun.
too. And
It's
I'm
fun.
so glad it glitched out, or it didn't, not glitched out, but I'm so glad that I was able to get this going after the glitches. You know,
Yeah.
you're truly amazing. I love your
Thank
videos. So I
you.
do want to
Thank
sit
you.
down with you and give everybody a really great video experience where they can learn from you and come up with some strategy. So Veronica and I are going to be speaking again in our next interview that we'll bring you. So if you've got any questions, please make sure that you send them our way. And again, you know, money is a really important thing, you know, and at the end of the day, it's not everything, right? It isn't. People who end up finding money don't end up being the happiest either. And I think that's a
Absolutely.
really important lesson that people need to learn as well, right? Maybe
It's
you've
so
got something to
true.
throw
It's
in
so
for them.
true. Absolutely. And it's not everything. But at the same time, if it's something you desire, this is again going back to if it's something you desire, then it is a way for you to bring and experience the fullness and the greatness of yourself when you lean into it, when you say yes to it in a way that is congruent with your heart and soul. And so I think that it's not everything. And when we're pursuing it superficially, just because we should, or because we want everyone to see us with money or whatever, then it's not in alignment with your heart and your soul. But when we do it in alignment with our heart and our soul, we bring out the greatness of us into our lives. That's when it becomes something that's exciting, and we can also become examples for other people, right? So as we choose this for ourselves, we can actually show people that you can have it all. You can be everything you want to be and not have to deal with the stress and angst of money.
Yeah, so here's a trick question for you. Is it better to be happy or is it better to be rich?
Happy, but why not be happy and
Or are
rich?
you happier, or are you happier when you're rich?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding around with you. But anyways, it was amazing to sit down. Oh, somebody is saying here, Kate, it's what the money can do, not retail therapy. So I guess that's right. It's what people think the money can do, right?
Absolutely.
But
Yeah. And yeah.
ultimately, what Veronica does, everybody out there, is she helps you to recognize your relationship with money. And correct me if I'm, you know, steering this in the wrong path,
Yep.
but she helps you recognize your relationship with money. And if it's a push-pull relationship where you're trying to grasp at getting money, she's going to help you figure out what that blockage is so that you can make that proper connection. If it's something where you're coming from a place where you just don't know which avenue to go and get more money and you feel like you need more money, she's going to help you figure that out too. So again, it's Veronica Runyon. She is on Facebook. She does her live feeds on Facebook, but she does run an ultimate money program, which you can join for 45 days. Do you want to speak to how they can join that or when the next program runs? Or is it just something that they just tune into and it's available for them?
I mean, you're welcome to join us now if you'd like. We are a couple weeks in, so you'd just be catching up on some videos. So if you wanted to look at that, you can go to veronicarunyon.com/money and decide whether or not you'd like to join us, even though we're halfway through. And I will be holding this again. So it depends on where you're at. I'm just typing it in here. Where you're at with your money situation and how strong you're feeling the calling. You can absolutely, I just had somebody join us 2 days ago. So there we go. So, it's doable if you want, but because it's a couple weeks in, you might want to say, oh, maybe I'll wait for the next round, which will be in a few weeks, in a month, maybe a month or so. But I've got tons of free stuff on Facebook, and I also am coming out in the next few days. If you join me on Facebook, you'll see that I'm going to be launching something that's a different version of this that's going to be starting fresh. So you're welcome to join me with that as well.
Oh, that's amazing. Amazing. Well, it was great to have you. I'm so glad we got this to work out. Like I said, we are going to be sitting down doing another interview for everybody. And I do want to have Veronica back on live because I think you've got some great things to say. And God knows I've got a bunch of things that I could talk to you about. I'm trying to keep this short and sweet. It's not
yeah.
But anyways, for all of those of you who are out there, this is Let's Get Loud Now. I'm Dorothy Guerra, and I'm here to amplify your life and help you find your passion, teach you to reach your goals, and then also connect you to the people that can help you do that. This Friday, I will be sitting down with Rosa Loxing and from Connect You, and she is in Mississauga. Rosa is an amazing networker who has a program that helps business owners sort of find their niche. So make sure you join me Friday. And with that, make sure you get onto Veronica's page. You will not regret it. She's absolutely fabulous. And thank you so much. And I look forward to sitting down with you. All right.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.